This is actually a nice spot.
Zeta slept outside for your ass.
These are real ones.
There are 18 people sleeping in the villa tonight.
Seriously, seriously. These people knew Casa Amor was happening and they knew they would be recoupling at the end of Casa Amor, and yet they couldn't look for space for everybody to find somewhere to sleep. They had to have people sleep outside and in common areas. Seriously. That was bad planning on their part. That was bad planning on their part, seriously. Anyway, I had to rant about that. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie again. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island USA, Season 4, Episode 23. Obviously it's a fallout from Casa Amor, and it was always going to be focused around the love triangles. And so we'll review the love triangles and we'll see how we go. And I think I'll start off with the non-problematic couples. So Courtney and Chad, we really didn't see them speak really because Courtney, Nadja, and Zeta were running around the place trying to put out all the fires from all the fallout from the recouplings. So Courtney and Chad, they seem fine. We really didn't see them. We did see Courtney sort of try to sort of comfort Sydney, who was freaking out because of Isaiah turning up with Phoebe. She slept outside with Chad because Zita was sleeping outside, so their beds were next to each other. I think they just thought let's sleep outside and leave the inside to everybody. I don't know how that ended up being allocated. And from there, Chaz and he's and Bella. We didn't see them really. We didn't see them. We only we saw I saw Bella sort of was sitting with Phoebe trying to comfort Phoebe because Phoebe was freaking out on her own because she needed attention, and the only other time I saw them was when they went to sleep, and that was it. So she slept with Chaz. Um, we didn't have anything about Chaz. The only thing we saw of Chaz was when he was trying to sort of comfort Sydney, because I think if anyone, I think the biggest upset was for Sydney and Jesse. I think those are the two people that were really upset because they least expected what they found when they came, when recoupling happened. And from the uh some of these people are not memorable. The people from Casa Amor. Anyway, I'll review the love triangles with Nadja and Jeff and Nick. That situation I don't understand. I'm confused by that situation. Really, I'm confused by the fact that Jeff has made such a big deal about it when they were not in a romantic coupling. They only kissed on the day before Casa Amor happened, and suddenly Jeff is making it seem like it's the end of the world, like not just betrayed him and she shouldn't have chosen somebody else. And it's like, well, you were not in a secure coupling, so the possibility of you recoupling with someone from Casa Amor, the risk was very high, so that's why she decided to secure her own place. I think because people were afraid that if they remained single, then they would be eliminated. So they tried to recouple to secure their place in the villa. That's the impression that I've got from this recoupling. So at first, Jeff didn't want to speak to Nadja, and then Nick, on his part, I have to commend him for addressing Nadja and telling her, in 12 hours, you can't tell me that you don't have any feelings for me, you don't feel anything anymore for me, and you want to try and make things work with Jeff. When you told me that there was nothing going on between you and Jeff, you were just friends. So when did you go from being friends to suddenly being in a coupling where it's now romantic? And her excuse, yeah, she was surprised by the fact that he came back with no one. So that on its own invokes some sort of emotion or whatever. And it's like, okay, if that's what makes you happy, hey. But it to me I didn't get it. I really didn't get it. I don't think it was enough for her to make such a big deal about the fact that, oh, to me it comes across as all everything she was saying about Nick. Oh, I like the way he makes me feel. I get emotional when I kiss him. She kissed Trey. She refused Trey because she said there was no connection there. She kissed Nick. She said there was a spark there, and she wanted to see if they could make things work. And then suddenly she's now back with Jeff. I think she's just doing that because Jeff is popular and she wants to secure herself a place to the finale. That's just me. I might be wrong. Jeff, on his part, I don't see why he kicked off that much. I think he should have just told her, I'm upset by what you did, but anyway, I'll sit here and wait for you to solve your issues. Once you're done, then we can move forward. Unless he was trying to make sure that she doesn't sort of. I think the only thing he should have been upset about, or his comment to her should have been, when you came in, you were after Isaiah. Isaiah didn't work. You said you wanted me. When I went home to Casa Amor, you got Nick. What guarantee do I have that if you come back to me, you're not going to leave me for Isaiah if Isaiah is free suddenly? That's what I think he should have said, but I might be wrong. And so I don't know. They've decided to give each other a chance. We'll see how that goes. Um, and then Jared, I don't know why Jared entertained Kat because Jared came back in a coupling with Chance, and he said he did that because he was left single after Maddie went home, and so Kat had owned up to everybody that she felt a spark with Jared and she wanted to try and give things a go, so she'd couple up with Chance on the basis that once Jared came back, she'd see if they could make things work. So I think it was surprising for Chance as well to see because Jared then had to sit down with Kate, Kat, and Kat explained how she felt about him, and it's like, I don't think it's a good idea for you to be buying that. Really, I think you're a safety blanket because she can't see anyone else that she can sort of hook herself to. And my concern is if somebody else comes in, is she not going? Is her head not going to turn? And then Jared is going to be left in a situation whereby he's got no one after he's got rid of the person that he came with from Casamo. I think he should have waited kissing her. I think he should have waited moving further with her and to make sure that she exactly is after what she says she is. Because his argument was, oh, she knows what she wants and she's honest in what she wants. Yeah, she was honest to Chaz, but how sure is he that she wants him? I don't know. That's something that still needs to be answered. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And then I forgot Zeta and Timmy. Zeta and Timmy are in paradise. They're happy. You know, Timmy told Zeta that, he didn't make out with anyone while he was in Casa Amor. He remained faithful and he trusted that she would do the same. They're happy. I think it was to be expected. I think if they had brought people that are to their liking, then their heads would have been turned. But because everybody that came didn't check any of their boxes, this is why they sort of just stayed clear, if you understand what I mean. Because Timmy, when Bria came, she said she checked her boxes, so that's why his head was turned. But because in Kasamo, nobody ticked their boxes, I think this is one of the reasons that their heads both did not turn. And the fact that they had this fallout when Bria sort of was in the mix with Jeff. So I think this is why they didn't turn. They seem happy they're in paradise. We'll see how long that lasts. And then Jesse, Deb, and Kyle. Apparently, Kyle has left for personal reasons. There were claims online that there were some incidents reported by someone, and so I think this is why the show has just decided to just move him out the side gate. And it's really sad because Deb was very vulnerable with someone like that. And I read somewhere where someone said that the reason even if they had screened him, they wouldn't have found these allegations is because the person who made the allegations didn't report him to the police. So there was no evidence that this had occurred until he appeared on TV and then this person sort of said exactly what happened. So I can't blame the producers or the network because obviously if there's no proof, then there's no way they can sort of know whether or not someone they can't release the names of the people that they're casting because obviously then that takes away the element of surprise. But they say so there's no way such allegations would be picked up on unless the person is on screen or unless people know that this person is going to be on that show. So I think this is something that it was out of their control, and I like the fact that they didn't make a big deal about it and just took him out the side door and that was it. Um, Deb, I think Deb, after the Valerie incident, was worried that if Jesse goes to Casamo, he's going to bring someone, which I understand. But I think she should not have moved the way she moved. But then at the same time, Kyle targeted her, in my opinion. He knew what she wanted and tried to make sure he gave her everything she wanted. But then I think seeing Jesse come back and the girls from Casamo told her that, well, Jesse was in Casa Amor, the only person he spoke about was you. He kept talking about you and how he was trying to make things work with you and how much he cared about you. And I think that to her was confirmation enough that she made a mistake. Because I think right from the jump, as soon as she saw Jesse come on his own, she knew she had screwed up. So we were shown twice with them sort of sitting down and having conversations away from everybody else. They did make out twice. Jesse on his part was very mature in his response and how he handled the whole situation. He was totally different from the way Jeff behaved. And given the fact that he and Deb have been in a coupling since the beginning of the show, I would have expected the response that Jeff gave to be him, but he was very controlled and very, you know, very understanding. So I think they should be fine. I don't think either one of their heads are going to be turned. I think they're now in a situation that Timmy and Zita are in, whereby they've got over this, and because of the fallout, they're not going to try and go back that way again. I might be wrong, but that's my view. And last but not least, Isaiah, Sydney, and Phoebe. Personally, I don't get it. Isaiah likes girls with a bit of drama. Isaiah likes girls with a bit of drama. And I said it before that Phoebe looks like one of those girls that if you break up with her or if you do something wrong, she's going to break everything. She's going to just, set everything on fire and walk out the door. And because now it seems so, Isaiah, I think when he came back, he realized he screwed up. I I think he was overwhelmed. I think Phoebe overwhelmed him because of the way she went, 1000%. And she applied so much pressure that in the end he had to give in because he was so overwhelmed. And because he was so overwhelmed, he ended up saying yes when he could have said no. Because the guys, I think, should have tried to save him, but then you could have blamed them tomorrow to say, "Why did you save me?" Because I think she applied way too much pressure that he lost himself in that mess, in that mix, and didn't know what else to do. So he did sit down with Sydney, had a chat with Sydney after Sydney had broken down to the girls, and the girls told her, "You need to go there, be vulnerable, and let him speak," which I think was good because she didn't go there, ready for war, and that in itself made him look like a fool for making choices that he knew would cause her so much pain. I think somebody needs to come and teach maths. I think they need to have a maths screening, or they need to have a math challenge somewhere within the show because, oh my God, Isaiah was speaking to Nadja, asked, okay, so who do you like more? He was like, oh, Sydney 70% and Phoebe 30%. And then Naja's like, oh, so if she's 70%, why then did you bring her? And it's like, no, if she's 30%, why did you bring her? Because 70% is greater than 30%. Seriously. Anyway, so I think the girls were right to tell Sydney to be vulnerable and not to go into attack mode. And I think that will work in her favor to get Isaiah back. And I think this is what Zita and Courtney were trying to do. And Isaiah, on his part, he's just overwhelmed. He's just overwhelmed. He's like a head. He's running around like a headless chicken. Because Sydney's pulling him one way. Um, Phoebe's pulling him one way because Phoebe's like, "Oh, you're not comforting me. I feel isolated. I feel like you're only caring about Sydney and you're not caring about me." Sydney's the same. I think in an ideal world, I think he needs to leave both girls and look for something else. He doesn't need someone that will overwhelm him. And it seems every time he's going for these girls that are into toxic relationships, and this is why he keeps getting stuck with these girls. I think he needs to leave both and look for somebody else. But I could be wrong. Hey, that's just my opinion. Because either way, the only way he's going to get peace is if one of them is evicted. So if he couples up with Sydney and they get rid of Phoebe, then he'll be fine. But if, as long as they're both in that villa, it's going to be a challenge for him. It's going to be a challenge for him. And now, as I said, that Phoebe comes across like this a girl who wants to burn it all. She's decided to go and explain everything to Sydney about what happened, and it's like why, why? This reminds me of Tittygate from the UK version, but hey, it is what it is. I digress. Thanks, guys, for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye, everyone.